My friends, how are you? It is fantastic to see you for yet another video, and I gotta be honest with you, the purpose of today's video is just to call out what a whiny little bitch Donald Trump is, and how that extends through the entire MAGA movement, and quite frankly, how I'm getting sick of listening to it all the damn time. So of course we're going to talk about Donald Trump using the power of the government to silence people. We're going to talk a little bit more about that, and then we're going to talk about basically the harm that it's doing to our country as more and more people turn into melting snowflakes right in front of us, and we're going to talk about it. So as we know recently, my friends, Donald Trump has been on quite the, I don't even know what to call it, quite the tear over there. I don't know if that's even a good word to use, but he's been going after all of our late night comedy hosts because they're all very mean to him, my friends. They are very, very mean to Donald Trump. And we just can't have that in America now, can we? So Stephen Colbert, he's getting canceled. And Jimmy Kimmel is suspended indefinitely. According to Donald Trump, Jimmy Fallon and Seth Meyers will be next. That's all according to Donald Trump. So Donald Trump was recently asked quite a few questions about all of this, and he continues to prove what a fucking crybaby he is every time he gets the opportunity. And I don't know how else to say it. I'm sick to death of the fucking victim complex from Donald Trump and the entire MAGA movement. This is a group of people that swear to God they're all alpha males and they're real big, tough, scary guys. And then anytime they meet just a little bit of adversity in their life, they fucking crumble right in front of us and just fucking start crying and bitching and complaining about how life's not fair for them. And my God, what the fuck happened in this country? There's no personal responsibility anymore. Did we run out of bootstraps in America? And listen, I understand life is hard. This country is definitely stacked against working class Americans. I understand every bit of that, but I am sick to death of people just constantly making excuses, vilifying people and things that aren't actually a problem, and allowing the fucking billionaires to continue to get away with it while they lick the boots of the billionaires and tell them what a great job they're doing. Back to the late night shows. Donald Trump was asked about it when he was, I believe he was over in the UK or something like that, asked about if America's freedom of speech is under attack, where he went on to whine and cry and bitch about how Jimmy Kimmel had no talent and it was low ratings that got him canceled, when we know full well. Another thing I'm sick of is being fucking lied to every day, but we know full well that it had nothing to do with ratings. It had to do with the company, I think they're called Nexstar or something like that, basically wanting to own a monopoly on TV stations throughout America. They need the FCC to approve that. They applied pressure to Disney, who turned around and said, okay, we'll suspend him for a while. And with all that said, I still support our boycott, because what the fuck are they doing? You're Disney. You have the power in this situation. Fucking do something. So I still support that boycott 100%. But Donald Trump was asked about it on Air Force One, maybe on his way back to fucking annoy the living shit out of us in person. I don't really fucking know. He was asked about why he's going after the late night host. I don't exactly remember the conversation, the question that was asked, but he went on about how 97% of what gets said on TV is negative towards Donald Trump. And he says all they do is hit Trump. That's all they do. They just hit Trump. And 97% of what's said on TV is negative towards me. Oh, for fuck's sake, you big fucking baby. For one, there's a couple ways you could go about this. For one, stop being a shithead. Stop fucking with the American people, and then we don't have negative shit to say about you. I didn't necessarily want to build a fucking YouTube channel on the fact that a fascist douchebag has moved into the fucking White House and has been terrorizing the American people. I didn't want for that to necessarily happen, but here the fuck we are. Because you're such a shithead, I had to come out and do this. And because so many people that come from my background and share my profession just blindly listen to fucking Fox News lie to them all day, I found it necessary to talk about what is going on, to hope like hell we can change some fucking minds out there. I didn't necessarily want to be here though. I'd rather have boring politics fix, is the point I'm making, my friends. But instead of Donald Trump fixing his behavior, instead of Donald Trump robbing the working class Americans so that the billionaires can have bigger tax breaks, so that we can close down hospitals, or so that the billionaires can have bigger tax breaks, starving children so the billionaires can have bigger tax breaks, putting tariffs on all the products we import into America, dramatically raising the prices of goods that we buy every day so Donald Trump can have a fucking ballroom, all right? And that's not even the horrifying shit Donald Trump's doing. Instead of threatening to turn the military on the American people and lying about crime rates, instead of running ICE through the streets and fucking deporting people that are legal to be here with no due process, and see, that's where it kind of gets a little bit, kind of muddies the waters a bit, doesn't it? If you don't have due process, how do you know that they're illegal to be here? You're just grabbing them and throwing them in concentration camps. You know, Donald, if you didn't do all that bullshit, maybe the rest of America would kind of start to fucking respect you a little bit if you weren't such a shithead. Have you ever considered that? But no, he goes on to fucking whine about how 97% of the things said about him are fucking negative. This is the president of the United States, my friends, that is acting like this. Listen, I'll tell you a little bit of a personal story, okay? I have been on one hell of a YouTube journey for like over the last 10 years. I've been doing something on YouTube, and there was a time where I grew a pretty successful trucking channel. It blew up on a viral video. It wasn't really supposed to happen, type of thing, but before I knew it, the entire trucking community of YouTube had turned against me, right? And I took it really bad. I took it really poorly. I don't know what their reasoning was. One, I always kind of buck the trends when it comes to trucking. Also, I don't go by the traditional advice that everybody fucking gives you. It's my career. I'll do whatever the fuck I want to do with it, right? And of course, everybody wanted to grow a channel also, so there was certainly some envy at play, I'm sure. And anyways, I took it really poorly when all of a sudden the people that like were my friends a week ago started targeting me constantly. It was a really bad situation. But then I learned something, my friends. I had to fucking realize that if I was going to be, I guess, a public figure, I'm not trying to like talk highly about myself. That's just kind of the way it works, right? When you get well known somewhat on social media, that's just kind of the way it works. I realized though that I was going to need to have thicker skin, is the point that I'm trying to make. People are going to say things. I can't control what they say. People are going to do whatever they're going to do, and me bitching about it does absolutely no good. Me consuming the content and getting all worked up about it does me absolutely no good. The reason I bring you that story is, why the fuck can't an 80-year-old billionaire that is the president of the United States just walk away from the shit? Who gives a fuck? You won at life. You won, all right? You did it in really shitty ways, but you won, and you're still bitching? This is fucking pathetic. I'm sick to fucking death of it. And like I said, out of breath again, like I said at the beginning of the video, my friends, this runs rampant through the entire fucking MAGA movement. I have never seen a group of, like I said, grown fucking people, grown men and women that spend all their time talking about what badasses they are and alpha males they are, and I'll kick the shit out of you, don't fuck with me kind of guys, always sniveling and fucking whining and bitching about how something isn't going their way, all while blaming the wrong fucking people over and over. I'm going to tell you about someone. You guys probably know about this lady. I don't know her name because fuck them. I'm sick to death of learning assholes' names. Fuck it, who cares? This lady swimmer, right? You guys know about the swimmer who runs around all the media talking about if it wasn't for transgender, she would have been like much more successful, right? And I never looked much into the story about apparently a transgender swimmer swam against her, and it basically ruined her whole career. It was unfair to her, all right? Well, I finally figured out what the fuck this story's about, and it's all completely bullshit. So apparently this lady was a swimmer, right? And she went to her little swimming race. I think that's what you call it, a swimming race. I don't really fucking know. And she went out there and she swam her fucking heart out, right? Swam her ass off and fucking, and she tied for 5th place. She tied for 5th place, all right? And then she spends all her time, I don't know about the transgender person there that was swimming, but it doesn't fucking matter. She tied for 5th place. She was nowhere near the top of that fucking race, right? So now she spends all her time running around the right-wing media talking about how she's been robbed of her entire career because of transgender people, men participating in women's sports. And this lady is the embodiment of the fucking MAGA movement, my friends. Mediocre at best, all right? And mediocre at best. And does nothing but bitch and complain and become a professional victim. Instead of taking the steps to, how do I improve my swimming times? How do I get stronger? How do I improve my endurance? How do I get faster at fucking swimming so that the next time I get in that goddamn swimming pool, I can at least place in the top 3? How the fuck do I do that? No, out the fucking window. We're not doing all that. We're not going to improve at what we do. We're not going to find a way to beat the people that we're competing against and get out ahead of them. We're gonna fucking bitch about a boogeyman. And there may or may not have been a transgender person in that pool with her today. Does it fucking matter? Does it matter? Now, there would be a case maybe to be made if they tied for 1st, right? Her and the transgender man in the women's sport tied for 1st place. I could see us maybe starting to have a debate about that very particular instance. 5th fucking place, you weren't even in it to begin with. But now you spend all your time talking about how it's someone else's fucking fault. And this is the MAGA movement, my friends. I'm so goddamn sick of it. It is nothing but blaming other people for your fucking problems. When really what you need to do, and look, I know I said it at the beginning of the video, all right? And I feel very passionate about this thing. America is stacked against the working class. We can't get fucking decent healthcare in this country. We can't get a fucking decent wage in this country. Housing is getting way too goddamn expensive. Our tax rates keep going up while the billionaires' tax rates go down. It's all against us. I get it, right? But at what point do you try to figure out how you can improve your situation? And we never ever hear that from the fucking MAGA crowd, ever. They're anti-education. I mean, my God, they vilify learning. Can you fucking believe it? But what if they would have went to school? What if they would have learned got an IT certification, at least something that would have improved their situation? Wouldn't that have been better than spending all of your life just bitching about how everyone else is the fucking problem? I don't fucking get it. And we hear it all the time. I've been hearing it my whole life, my friends. Oh, I am out of breath again. I am going off over here, I think. I don't know if this video is any good. You tell me. I don't know. Anyways, I was raised in that kind of environment, right? Where no matter what happened, it was a Mexican's fault. You didn't get the job you wanted. You didn't get, maybe you wanted government benefits, food stamps, or a welfare check or something like that. I don't know. Any and everything that could go wrong was a Mexican's fault. Pick one, random. It don't matter. Just find a Mexican to blame. And that was basically my upbringing, how I was raised as a kid. Just find a Mexican and blame them. Now, do you do anything to improve your situation? Do you work harder to be more competitive with that person? No, you just blame a Mexican. So now we've got this entire fucking war on DEI hires, right? Which is fucking shocking, because you know how MAGA doesn't like reading? You know how they hate reading about shit? To the MAGA movement, DEI means a black woman got a job. That's it. That's their whole thought process, right? And I actually kind of went back and forth with a MAGA dork earlier about the whole DEI thing, and what Charlie Kirk had said about black women not having the processing power to be taken seriously. And they told me to go read the rest of that quote. They said, you need to put it into context and read the whole quote. Oh boy, I wish I did not, because it did not get any better, my friends. That part, what I said, was part of the quote, where he was targeting specifically for black women, of course, but at the very end of the quote, yeah, this is where it gets real ugly, my friends. At the end of the quote, it said, they had to steal a white person's spot. You probably didn't want to send me to read the rest of that quote, did you? Because when I did, I went, that did not improve the fucking situation, even a fucking little bit. And I just wish for once I just wish for once, instead of using this little magic Google box that we all have just to spread hate and repeat the talking points they hear from Fox News over and over, I wish just one of them would type into the Google search bar, what is the DEI initiative, or what does DEI mean? What all does DEI entail or encompass, or something to that effect? And when they bring that up on their phone, they are going to find out some wild shit. They are going to find out that they have been attacking America's veterans, my friends. And I was bored last night. I was bored, and I was just scrolling through TikTok, just scrolling up on the videos, you know, whatever came up. I don't really use TikTok, but I was bored out of my fucking mind last night, and I ended up in this algorithm of videos of soldiers returning home from like deployments and shit like that, where they'd been gone for like fucking ever, right? And I ended up in this algorithm where that was the videos all back to back, all I was seeing, and their kids crying when they see them, and just breaking down, and fucking them breaking down and crying when they see their wives, and their wives just fucking losing it. I've never been in the fucking military, my friends. I'm an almost joined veteran. I chickened out at the last fucking minute. I'll never bullshit you about that. When I was like 20, I went and did what's the test called? ASVAB or something like that. I don't really remember. I didn't do too well on it, and then I just kind of like chickened out and didn't go. But watching and I'm not a pro-war person either, but there is some point where the military does protect us just by being there, right? I'm not advocating for war. I'm just saying that the military overall does an admirable thing. And the point I'm trying to make with all that, watching all those TikToks kind of made it feel like really like human last night. I was getting a little teared up. I won't even fucking lie to you. I'm like, I mean, I'm a trucker, and I sometimes don't make it home for months also, but it's a little bit different. I'm not necessarily in a war zone yet, and not yet, right? But anyways, the point I'm making with that was a little bit of a fucking side tangent. The people that are so adamantly opposed to DEI hire, if they would just fucking look into it, they would see that what they're actually attacking is America's veterans, people that have went to war on behalf of the fucking elite billionaires in America, people that have went through basic training and went out there and went into battle and lost a fucking limb, or have mental issues, mental things they have to deal with now, and DEI covers that shit. So these are our flag waving, proud to be American motherfuckers that are actively attacking America's military veterans. Isn't that fucking crazy to you? If only they would read. My fucking God, if only they would just take 5 minutes out of their day of spewing hatred all over the fucking internet and read a goddamn thing, this world would be a better fucking place, wouldn't it, my friends? And the point I'm making with all of that is, it's become increasingly apparent that all this stuff about we're snowflakes and we're cancel culture and we're all these fucking things, it's all been absolute fucking projection, my friends. They are the biggest, whiniest political movement that I think I've ever seen in fucking history. I mean, I've only been here like 40 years, but like, I've never seen a bunch of entitled brats like this in my fucking life that just think they deserve it just for showing up. Fuck putting in effort. Fuck being more competitive than that person over there. Fuck trying to learn a new skill. Fuck trying to hone in the skills that I already have. I demand that I be taken care of because I showed up. And look, we don't owe it to you to kiss your fucking ass. We just don't. Get out there and do something instead of bitching about fucking everything. I mean, my God, we're crying about people's genitals. Why are we doing that? This needs to be called out every time it gets brought up. You guys are fucking perverts that cannot get through a goddamn conversation without it discussing other people's fucking genitals. Do you know how goddamn weird that is? It's weird, and you're being weird, and it's about high time we call it out. Is that what I meant to say? I don't know. Sounds good to me. Fuck it. But and the constant blaming of everyone else because you didn't do as well as you wanted to in your career. Is there anything you could have done? Is there anything you could have helped with to kind of help that along? Are you starting to realize that blaming a black woman doesn't actually solve your fucking problems, and you gotta get out there and fucking go after what you want? Motherfuck, man. I'm tired of all the goddamn whining. Anyways, with that said, I got to get back to work. Love you guys. Bye now.